Welcome to another episode of the Social Proof Podcast. I am your host, Donnie Wiggins, and I am sitting here with my host, David Shands. We are your favorite business coaches.
Your favorite. Comment right now in the comments if we are your favorite.
Are we your favorite?
Y'all better comment too. Don't make us look crazy.
Put fave in the comments. Put fave in the comments. Don't have us out here looking crazy because all we do is help. All we do is help build entrepreneurs every single day.
Speaking of helping entrepreneurs every single day, we've got another one. You know what? I love these interviews. Again, we talked about it last week, but there are people who make millions and maybe they don't understand what it's like to not be making millions anymore, especially if you've been doing it for a long time. Mm-hmm. I remember walking away from the Cheesecake Factory and like making my first 100,000. I knew exactly what people were going through. Mm-hmm. So I love the blend that we have entrepreneurs that are going to be those 20, 30, $100 million entrepreneurs, but you get to catch them and watch them build something special in real time. Now, we're not getting nobody on here that doesn't have anything built,
for sure.
But this is like the sweet spot for most people that they can relate to. Like, yo, I can get this done.
And the most important thing is the relatability factor.
For sure.
Because every single day in people's own personal lives, they have every obstacle, challenge hitting them to say, I can't do it, to justify why they can't do a thing or why they need to do a thing much later. But then we bring entrepreneurs and CEOs on like Shanelle Benjamin.
Shanelle.
Hey.
Who are the epitome of relatability and the I can do factor.
Hey,
thank you. Hey, Donnie. Hey, Dave. First of all, I am so grateful to be here. So thank you so much to both of you. I appreciate you so much. And I'm excited.
Are you excited?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I'm going to try to contain my excitement so I don't like strain my voice too much, but I'm super excited.
I love that for you. You're always super high energy,
sure.
though.
Yes.
Which makes sense why you do what you do. Tell everybody else what you do.
Yes. So my name is Shanelle Q, but in the internet streets, I go by the brand Hustler, and I help product-based entrepreneurs build a profitable brand so that they can launch, grow, or scale. And recently, we actually expanded to service providers as well, because I realized that I can actually help them maximize the CEO brand that they already have and monetize it with a product. So if you are a service provider who is tired of trading your time for money, then you need to lock in with me because I can help you do that.
That was good.
I ain't
gonna lie to you. That was good.
Thank you.
Media training much?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Said I'm not new to this.
Oh, for sure.
Not new to this.
So who's the type of entrepreneur that you deal with or business owner that you deal with typically?
Yes. So that's a great question. And I think to answer that question, it's important to talk about what a brand is and what a brand isn't. Because in recent years, the word brand has gotten so diluted because people use it interchangeably with business that it's in this lump sum of business development, sales, guru talk that they don't realize that in order for your business to actually thrive and be successful and sustainable, you need to have a brand. In my opinion, your brand is the heartbeat of your business. Mm-hmm. And so without it, your business will literally crumble. And so if you go out in the streets and you recognize a certain brand by its visuals or its CEO, that's a result of its brand. The reason why we know the difference between McDonald's or Chick-fil-A or Fenty and Maybelline is literally because of the brand. And the reason why I can even bring up those brands is due to what's called brand recall, right? And that's through them building a memorable brand that actually connects to people either through its story, its mission, or something. And so what I find with product-based entrepreneurs that I would say maybe not a lot, maybe many service-based providers understand, but product-based entrepreneurs don't, is that your brand is so impactful and it really does matter. And so what happens in the product-based space and why I focus on them is because they get caught up in what I call flea market marketing and sales. That doesn't do much for your business. And so with my clients, what I do is I help them.
Wait, what is that? What is
flea market? Mm-hmm. Okay, so I used to go to the flea market with my
the energy, crazy.
I love it.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm gonna tell you.
Do not contain that excitement. Just let it all out.
So I used to go to the flea market with my heavenly bestie. That's my grandma. She used to go there all the time with her little foldable cart. We used to ride the bus. I'm from Miami. So we used to go to the flea market and literally you will have 10 people back to back selling the same exact thing. And the way that they get your attention is they try to go cheaper than the next person. So they'll like hop out and they'll be like, I got 5 for 10. Oh, well, I'll give you 7 for 10. Or, I'll give you 7 for 9. And so I think that product-based entrepreneurs, I don't know where they got the habit from, but they got the habit and it's a bad habit. And so flea market marketing that's basically what I consider. It's something I made up.
Like a race to the bottom. Yeah. A race to the bottom, like the cheapest. And then nobody wins because the profit margins get so small.
Yes.
As you get cheaper and cheaper.
And cheaper doesn't mean better. Yeah. Cheaper doesn't mean that you'll make more money either. And a big mistake is that they end up not keeping the profit, like you said. And then they come to me and they're like, I'm not keeping any money. And then we have to work on their pricing. And if you want to be luxury, you have to price accordingly and then have a brand experience that supports that. But in the product space, again, they'll use the word luxury, but then want to be the cheapest. I'm the most affordable luxury out there. All the time, that doesn't make sense to me.
Keep on, you talking heavy.
Talking good.
But so basically, I work with my clients to do something called brand development through 7 foundational brand bricks. And then we work together to develop brand-centric marketing strategies. So that way their audience goes from what is this to I need this.
So what's the typical type of entrepreneur you work with? Like we have our market, our core market of people that I work with predominantly. Now, I might work with many others, but what's the type of entrepreneur that you come across mostly?
So typically I come across women who have impactful products or could have impactful products. And so that's typically in the health, beauty spaces, sometimes fashion, not really a whole lot. Recently, because of my new journey as a stationary brand, I have a second product based brand. Now I'm attracting some stationary people. And so I typically work with women who know that they have a bomb product, but basically need the brand to support it.
Got it. I'm going to ask her a question.
No, go ahead.
And so branding means a lot, right? So I want to take branding out of the product for right now, but I want us to talk about branding a person.
Okay.
And I want you to analyze Donnie and I's brand. Nothing positive though.
Oh.
You can only give us the errors in our brand that you see from your perspective, right or wrong, but your opinion. You want to start with Donnie first or me? You can start with me first.
Okay, I'll start with you.
I'll take the first shot.
But there's one common mistake I see with both of you though.
Come on.
Yeah. You're not maximizing your CEO brand enough.
You better
Come
say
on.
it. Give me the girl.
Listen, I'm willing to be coached. We're coachable.
Put us in the game, coach. Put us in the game.
So.
Okay.
I mean.
Should I take notes on this?
I mean, you should. You could.
Because
we can work on this off camera.
Let me take she said I can get you together real quick.
I'm just saying. So one of the benefits of a CEO brand is you can monetize it in many ways, right? Not just products, but also with brand collaborations. And you two are so monumental that I don't know why you don't have way more deals. Now, I know that you worked with Ecamm Live last year, but we need to do more of that because brands are willing to pay you for your influence. And so if me, who has, I don't know how many I had at the time, I'm pretty sure it was still over 100K on YouTube, but a small fraction of what you two have on Instagram can get paid 5 figures for one post. I know that you can get long-term deals with brands that you already rock heavy. All the time.
She's talking heavy. You know why I don't have them or why I don't do them? Because I simply don't respond.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a fact. That is a fact.
That is the truth.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's because I started getting offered these deals during the middle of my own personal storm, right? And I just didn't have it in me to even respond. But is that what you do?
No. So that's a part of the CEO branding aspect, which is why through the years I've gotten some experience with telling my own story. And as a CEO sharing my journey, I naturally had influence. And so why not monetize it? I think that's a very smart way to do things. And so just like you, I wasn't checking my emails or I didn't really know how to negotiate. I still kind of don't. And so what I originally did was I actually hired one of my friends, one of Andy's closest friends and line brother. Andy's my husband, by the way. But I hired him and he started responding to the emails for me. And so that helped a lot because he is a guy all about numbers. And so maybe that's something that you can do, either somebody you already know or just hire out to just respond. Yeah, because it's out there and they're still looking, especially for people of culture.
Now, you said that we're not maximizing our CEO brand. All right. So the first note that I have is that by way of not securing or not taking seriously
brand collaboration.
Brand collaborations.
Because that could propel you even more.
Okay.
The second thing is, I would say that although you have Instagram, Donnie, I know David said, I'm just going to go back and forth. But although you have Instagram, I think I told you before, you need to be on YouTube.
I said it already.
Yeah.
I told you once before. Okay. You did tell me outside of my podcast, I need to show up.
Yes. And you need to be on YouTube like you were doing. What was it, last year? The beginning of last year you started and then you kind of fell off. Because YouTube is a platform that is evergreen. It is searchable. And yeah, Instagram can say whatever they want. But at the end of the day, I feel like YouTube is tried and true and it's been here for so long. And I don't think it's going anywhere because they're very smart. The way that they move, they just know how to maximize their revenue while also paying respect to the creators on the platform.
When we do, I think one of my issues is I'm thinking it got to be outreach. Also, I get a lot of those emails, but I don't know which ones are scams and which ones are not.
Exactly.
And I don't really know how to reply. And if it don't come through somebody, like I'm having more of those conversations now, but if it don't come through somebody I know, I'm like, I don't want to waste my time.
Yeah. And it's weird because sometimes they'll reach out through third-party people and it looks scammy. Like recently I had TurboTax reach out through a third party and my husband and I were looking at it like, why are they asking for all this information? They want me to do a background check, all of this stuff. Initially like respond within 34 hours or something crazy. And we didn't, but they kept extending the deadline and reaching out to us and we just kept ignoring it. Fast forward, I see that they're actually working with people. I'm like, dang. I could have did that.
Right.
So
mine don't be TurboTax. I'm about to try to find some just search it.
Mine be
it don't be TurboTax.
Hi, we came across your YouTube.
Right. Exciting sponsorship opportunity. What is this? The Spill the Tea sponsorship proposal.
Okay, now don't be calling nobody out.
I don't know. No, I'm saying I'm called. This might be something real. I'm just saying I got the email and I'm just going through emails that I haven't opened. And I'll just see certain things on
all those Chinese companies probably.
For sure.
Yeah.
So in your coaching, while he's searching for that, a client comes to you.
Collaboration opportunity.
Them, right? Do you audit their brand first and give them that same feedback? You need to be doing collaborate. Okay, so you're still on me, right? And I'm going to tell you that I have my Osmo in my purse over there. I have all the content there. I vlogged my whole trip to Tokyo from last week. None of it will make the internet. It won't. Andrea, David's wife, literally just told me, I think it was yesterday, I'm waiting for you to vlog your trip on YouTube. And I said,
he did vlog it though.
Well, I posted stories. Right.
I'm saying you brought your Osmo, you recorded.
Oh, absolutely. I recorded everything. I record everything all the time.
None of it makes the anywhere.
I remember, None of it makes the internet. For example, recently on my social media page, earlier this week, it could have been 2 or 3 days ago, I was vlogging a trip to, I think it was Mexico that we went to. We did a CEO trip to Mexico. This trip was 2 years ago. This trip was almost 3 years ago now. I just posted a reel of it on my Instagram.
Oh, we need to be more
got
attention.
Great engagement.
Yeah.
People were really into it. It's just, what would you tell me as your client who lacks intentionality in that area because I don't have to? You know what I mean? And I say that because I make money, right? And my business really runs on automation. We've got recurring revenue models, blah, 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 blah. So on one hand, I don't have to do it in order to make money, but I need to do it in order to achieve my goals.
Yeah.
Coach me.
And so did you vlog it with the intention of putting it up on YouTube when you went to Tokyo and then went to Mexico? Why'd you vlog the whole thing?
Yeah, for sure, in my mind.
Okay.
I even transitioned between horizontal lens.
Come on. got creative with it.
I said, okay, I'm gonna get a couple of clips for YouTube. So let me make sure I'm filming horizontally. You know what I mean? And this is gonna be a good YouTube short right here. I haven't looked at that camera since. It's in my purse. It's been there the whole time. I don't even know. It's charged.
Yeah, and Dottie hires people to like edit and give her clips, and they'll do the work, and they'll just
never get posted.
Never get posted. And even when I hired somebody to post, Brianna's job was to post this stuff. Well, she was posting stuff, and then I would cringe at what she would choose. And I'm like, the Monday Madness episodes, the ones that you're referring to, I would cringe at some of the clips. So I'm like, okay, Bri, just run it by me first. Let me just see it first. So then she wanted to start seeing it. She sends it to me first. I'm the bottleneck because I don't look at it. I'm like, it's not that important to me, right? When it's important to me, I do it, but it's not registering as that important to me. Like, I'm not looking to be a YouTube star. I don't know, girl. I appreciate your expertise though. And you're the third person to say it to me this week. You're the third person to get on my butt about brand deals and YouTube and all these things. David and I are paying a team right now a good amount of money right now. I don't even respond to the people.
Ever. Ever. It's the craziest thing. I'm like, we paying these people, right?
But I did better. I went through and sat through those emails yesterday and responded to everything. Back to you, Shanelle.
Yeah, I mean, so Donnie, what I would tell you, because I know
we still on me.
You just say you asked the question. I gotta answer the question. I know where you want to go in terms of from where you're at now to achieving 8 figures.
Yes.
And so what you may not see is YouTube may be that gap. That may be what you need to get consistent with. I would much rather be consistent with YouTube because I understand the algorithm. As long as you show up like a TV show, they're going to respect you. So right now, I'm not YouTube's favorite because I took a step back, but now I'm coming back. And so I know that if I post 2 times a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, they're going to literally within maybe 2-3 weeks, they're going to pick it back up and put in the algorithm. And there was a time where I was less than 100,000 making $10,000 from YouTube alone from the actual platform. And so Donnie, you may show up, get a large audience, get monetized, you have that additional revenue, but then that also amplifies your presence so that you can get booked on these stages, fill Actionable CEO up even more. And that could literally take you over the hump that you need to get over.
She put the battery in my back.
Let's go.
She wound me up. All right. Give me a couple of days. And I'm going to, okay. But then someone's going to say to you, I post on Instagram. I don't post on TikTok, but someone, it doesn't even have to be me, or we can stay with me as the case study. I'm sure you guys are loving this.
I want my coaching session.
Right?
Oh yeah, David's
I'm waiting for my coaching session.
I'm sure you're loving this. Shanelle, I don't know what to post on YouTube. Yeah. So here's the unique thing. I just went on a trip to Tokyo with 2 girlfriends of mine, Milan and Jaleesa, owner of Salt XO, and they both said like I'm create. The 2 top content creators, I'm the one getting all the content. And they're like, oh my God, Donnie, you get all the content. And I'm laughing on the inside like, you're never going to see it.
You're never going to light a day.
Right? And so Milan says, you need to show more lifestyle. People want to see what you're wearing. They want to see what you're talking. And I'm like, how does that build my brand as an entrepreneur, right? My assistant was saying, I want to see more lifestyle and yada, yada, yada. When she moved to New York, Bri, I love you. I was so glad because I don't want you to come over anymore to try to do another get ready with me. Like, I just, you know what I mean? I don't want to. So what would you say that you post on YouTube?
There's a lot of things you can do with $500. I mean, you can have a night out with your significant other. You could buy some really expensive shoes. Well, really nice shoes are about double $500. You could buy a course where you can learn something for $500. But I have something better for you to do with the $500. I want to meet with you every single morning for the rest of your life. Well, maybe not the rest of your life, but every morning, Monday through Friday, for the rest of the year. I have information and game that have allowed me to build a successful business, a successful community, and a successful life all the way around. But I want to share that with you. But the only way we can accomplish this is not me selling you a course, not me giving you a one-on-one consultation, because even with that, you'll get the information, but you'll need more. I want to meet with you every single morning. Now, would I meet with someone every morning for $500 for a year? And the answer is yes. Actually, we've been doing this thing since 2017. We have what's called the Morning Meetup. Every single month, we have a theme, whether it's social media, whether it's motivation, whether it's strategy, whatever it is, we have a theme for the month. And every morning in that month, we have a conversation around that topic. And I am giving a wealth of knowledge, not only myself, but a lot of friends, a lot of people that you see on this podcast. They join every single week. So you need a community of people that you can grow with, and you need a coach. I'm your coach. The Morning Meetup is your community. Go to themorningmeetup.com. It's $499, and I will meet you every single morning for an entire year. Give it a shot.
So it's a split. I think about it like a pie chart, and this is for any platform, especially when you're building a brand. And what a CEO brand is, for clarity, it's kind of like a personal brand, but for the mission of pushing your business forward. So it's not sharing every intricate detail of your life, but only the parts that make sense to your business. And so I won't share like my parents, for example, unless I just spoiled them with a trip or got them a gift and it was a result of my business. Mm-hmm. And so when it comes to YouTube, it's a pie chart, in my opinion. Okay. I like to think that it needs to be 50 to 60% expert type content.
Pie chart.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So that's your how-to content, your 5 tips for this, your tools that you use for this, blah, blah, blah.
50 to 60%. The name of that category was
expert content.
Be taking notes.
I'm listening.
Expert content.
Expert content.
Yeah, because David started vlogging too, and then he just disappeared too. So,
yeah, sure.
But I'm going to get to him. But then you have...
Golly.
Then you have about 20 to 30% that's your opinionated content. So this you can blend with lifestyle if you wanted to, where you're maybe vlogging, I don't know, something health related, giving like your opinion, whatever that is that you care about. Okay. Like, you know, holistically, because I know you care about the person, you know. Mm-hmm. So
I care about the person.
And then the remainder of that is purely your lifestyle stuff.
Okay.
So that's where you're sharing your stories that connect with them. So like when I was getting married and I was in the process of wedding planning, I would vlog certain things about that. To this day, like my engagement vlog is one of my top vlogs. When I was going through my brand revamp, that's something that I vlogged. Mm-hmm. That was a very popular vlog. I was on there crying and showing all types of stuff, and people loved it and they related to it. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of like the pie chart that I use.
Okay, I got it. 50 to 60% expert content, 20 to 30% opinionated content, and whatever is left, lifestyle content that connects with your audience.
Yep.
That's a nugget.
So your major push is for people who have a product, right? Mm-hmm. So I understand how to position a product. So I got a book, Dreams Are Built Overnight. Right? Okay. So the book was a white cover, and it was me on the cover, just how we do. You know what I'm saying? We want to make sure, and I had a little joint like this.
With a tie.
Yeah, for sure. I got a haircut that day and everything. So I just changed it to this, right? So where I wanted to be colorless and just like about the information. How do I move with this product?
Yeah.
Because you are the product position specialist, right? Yeah. Talk to me.
So because you have a CEO brand, you would maximize that. And what I would do is intertwine that book into all of the stories if you possibly can. Mm-hmm. So thinking about what stories happened in your life or in your business that connect directly to the book. It could be a chapter from the book. It could be an underlying theme in the book. And so how I help people build brands is one of the blocks is your stories. Everyone has an overarching story, right? Mm-hmm. And within that overarching story, you have many stories. So one of my overarching stories is that I hated corporate America. I quit corporate America. And so there are many stories within there, whether it's the time I told my aunt when we were in Jamaica that I wanted to be an entrepreneur and she laughed, or whether it was the time where my boss was begging me to stay and I decided to fast and tell him that I was leaving. And then, you know, I got blessed tremendously. And so I would find what that overarching story is, which is probably already in the book, and figure out the many stories that have happened or are happening right now that you can tell through your content. You can tell via email, in person, and it always ties back to the book. And that's exactly how I sell my products now with the brand that I created last year, is that I literally just talk. And what's interesting is last year I launched this product brand HBU in February, and then it was doing really good. I'm saying we made like $1,000 in 3 hours, and my average product value is only like $40. And then we were getting consistent $300, $400 days. My grandfather then passed, so I took a step back and I didn't promote that brand at all. But through me showing up occasionally with my CEO brand and intertwining it in my stories, I get sales. I literally got a sale yesterday and I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. I haven't shown up for that product brand yet, but that's the power of a brand overall and telling stories within your brand.
So the centerpiece of a product is the story. So if you have a product, the first thing you're coaching somebody on is crafting the story around it. Because that's what resonates, right?
Exactly. But you got to know your audience to craft the story so that it appeals to them.
Go deeper.
So the first layer is your audience always, because your product is basically to solve a problem. There's an equation that I created where it's problem plus your product equates to a solution. And so if you can't crack the code when you put your product in that equation, then either your product has to change or the problem isn't aligned. 100%. And so if you do crack the code to the equation, then you're able to understand who your audience is, what they care about, their desires, all of those things. And then you can actually craft your stories, your content, your messaging, everything toward them, even your visuals, because a lot of people will just design stuff and they have no idea what they're doing, one, but two, they don't even know their audience. So it doesn't appeal to them.
So let's talk about your business model.
Yes.
Okay. So for anybody that like, I understand branding for some reason, maybe it's not formal training, but all of my friends come to me about branding. I just have an eye or a feeling and I want to do what you do, let's say. Right. So how did you start crafting this business, and tell me the financial side of how do you charge, like things of that nature?
Yeah. So how I started crafting, it goes back honestly to my childhood. So I'm Caribbean. I don't know if y'all know that, but
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
It makes
Caribbean.
sense now, though.
Really?
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
The
energy, the boldness. It makes sense, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Caribbean. I was born in Miami, but I was raised in Antigua with my dad's side of the family. And pretty much, if anybody's Caribbean and watching this, you know they're very strict, and they're strict with your careers as well. So growing up, it was either a doctor, a nurse, a lawyer. That's it. There's no in between. And so when I came back to Miami, I was on the path to become a doctor. I was in HOSA, which is Health Occupation Students of America. I was doing all types of competitions, winning, doing the whole thing. But what I was doing on the side is my mom was putting me in pageants. I started my own business. When I was younger, it was like a nonprofit organization that I got nominated for a Silver Knight Award, which I just found out Jeff Bezos won back in his day. I said, I need to start
You were nominated for something that Jeff won.
Oh,
I know, right? But anyway, so I then went to the University of Florida. I majored in physics on a pre-med track, which is crazy thinking about it. And while I was at the University of Florida, I met this girl named Gerthy, who changed my life forever, because she looked at me and she said, oh, I want you to be my PR director for this Caribbean fashion talent show. It was like one of the biggest shows that you have had. I didn't know what she was talking about. I didn't know what PR was. And after I looked it up, I realized that PR was basically the study of people to get them to do what you want them to do by changing their perception. And so that's the core of branding. So that's where it started. So I told her yes, because I always had like this burning creativity inside of me through doing pageants, through starting, the business when I was in high school and so on and so forth. And so I took that position. Then she loved all of the work I did. She then asked me to be the director the next year. Mind you, I'm a sophomore. So I'm stressing out. I'm like, this is not for me to do. Like, what do you see in me that I don't see in myself? And she sat down with me. She took me to lunch. She explained the whole thing. And I decided to go for it. I took a leap of faith. And that ended up being the record-breaking show that UF had, and it probably still holds that record to this day. I'm talking about, we had a line outside of the ballroom wrapped around where they had to call the cops. It was a thing. And being the director, not only did I get to lead a team, but I also got to partner with Publix, Plato's Closet, Olive Garden, all these things that were equipping me. I didn't know then, but I know now, to become this entrepreneur who cares about the experience, who knows about branding and all the things. I switched my major to public relations. And I got a minor in business management and sports management. And what I love about UF is they're a hands-on research institution. So I got to work with GE. I got to intern with big companies. And so I learned all of these things that I was putting under my belt. So then when I graduated and moved to Atlanta, I then started in sales roles and marketing roles because back then they didn't respect branding like that.
Yep.
And so in those roles, I then got to work with these large companies as well, where I was a lot of times the first Black, the first woman, like all of these things. And so that built not only a level of tenacity within me, but that gave me the experience I needed at a very young age. And so that molded me into who I am today, where I know branding from so many different points of view because I've worked in corporate, I've had the sports experience, I had the internship, I had shows, all of those things. And I got the degree to prove it because I graduated. So
got it. So walk us through your pricing model. How do you make money from this?
Yes. So right now I make money through programs mostly. So what I do is I actually have a 6-figure brand mini class, which teaches you the foundations of everything that I teach my clients. From there, you then progress to the Brand Accelerator, which is a new course that I put together to help you build a profitable brand and be able to execute it with 30 days or less. You can literally take it if you're a true hustler, you're about it, you will take it and you will apply everything because I give you a lot of plug and play. And then if you really want to take it to the next level, then you can work with me either one-on-one or in one of my high ticket programs. And so the pricing tier is that 6-figure brand class is just $27. Then if you go into the Brand Accelerator right now, it's only $397. And then from there, the high ticket offers are $2,000 and above.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty profitable?
Yeah.
Shanelle gets busy.
Yo, do you think, let's say I have a book, right? So I just want to hire one-on-one, and I get your perspective too. Do you charge, like, okay, you'll help me brand this and I'll get some results. Do you ever get points on what you help brand, or is it like just pay me up front?
I want to, but I don't yet.
Okay.
I do want to. I spoke to my husband about that maybe like a year ago, where I want to start getting a piece of the pie, and I'll even do it by just investing Shark Tank style if I had to. Yeah.
But you wouldn't even have to put up any money if you're going to do the positioning and all that kind of stuff. But what do you think about that model?
You know, I love that model. I love that model. And I have clients that are on that model.
What you mean?
So part of my consultation in 2023, I wanted to go into consulting for equity. And so we tested that out with 2 clients. I'm not seeing new one-on-one clients at that time because of that, right? So I love the hybrid model of being paid to consult for a product brand or a service-based brand. But the work oftentimes exceeds that 1-hour weekly coaching session that we have, right? I'm constantly being inspired. I am constantly seeing things for clients on social or out in real world, and I'm sending them information, and we constantly have this back and forth, and I get more deeply involved because at some point when your clients, especially, they don't want to cut you off, they don't want to cut you loose, you have to go deeper and deeper and deeper into the brand. And I'm like, okay, well now let's make this performance-based as well. So you can go into equitable positions per product, per service, or on the whole company. And right now we operate via the product.
Got it. Got it. Okay.
And let me say this, it's a true measure of sustainability, because even going back to my own, personal crisis that I felt like I was in last year, that's one of the things that helped to sustain, automations and systems and processes, but also having that equity factor in there as well will strongly help you sustain in business.
That's fire. You gonna do that?
I have a client I could do that with right now.
Right now. And let me tell you something.
Go on, text him, schedule a meeting.
When you're positioned well and you're really helping people get results, it's a no-brainer. In fact, one of my clients said, "Why didn't you do this sooner?" Well, we can make it retroactive if you like. We can make it retroactive. So, but that is like the next phase that I see for me. What's the next step that you see for yourself?
Ooh, that is a deep question. Definitely hitting 1 million. But the next phase I see is taking myself more out of the equation. So less one-on-ones, which is why I'm happy that you mentioned that, and letting my programs basically build the empire themselves. That's what I really want.
Letting my programs build the empire themselves. What does that mean?
So my vision is to have a brand educational company. And that brand educational company will be ran by a team where it's a pleasure if I show up, or an honor, I should say, if I show up. And so I want to do that because my ultimate goal is to build a product brand. The product brand that I have now is a stationery company. I want to put products out on shelves, and I want to be a living, breathing, walking testimony of what I'm teaching, because I had to close down my shoe boutique before to focus on this business. And so I have this love and passion for products, and I know that products is the way to wealth, because you can just hire people to work in the warehouse and you still own it afterwards. And so that's my goal, is to just build this empire, let it run itself, and then to have that product.
Someone who's watching this right now, they're getting started in business. They're not yet qualified. As we wrap this up, how do they know if they need to pursue you out to help them with their business? How are they a good fit? How do they know that they're a good fit?
You will feel it in your gut, because you know that attracting customers is like a never-ending rat race. You are cold DMing people. You are putting out content and nothing is hitting. And so sometimes people are chasing this viral content thinking that that's what's going to get them results. It won't, because your messaging is still off. You haven't done the inner work to actually develop your brand. You don't know who you're talking to, because you think that selling to everyone means that you will make more money. If any of those things sound like something that you've said or that you're thinking right now, then you definitely need to work with me, because I can guarantee that there's a gap somewhere that you have that I can help you fill. So that's what I would say to them.
Shanelle will help you fill the gap.
Yeah.
And I believe it. I've worked with Shanelle for some time now. I've seen her in action. I love the way she takes info. You're a sponge.
Thank
you. She takes the information and she applies it right away, like in real time. You hear those fingers just clacking on that computer, and she's going, and her husband is over there like, yep, I hear it all night. It's keeping me up. All right. No, but seriously, if you are someone who is struggling, or you're not even sure if you're struggling, maybe you can just do better. You heard Shanelle put David and I in our place. We're not brands that are necessarily struggling, but there's an obvious opportunity for us to do better.
Speak for yourself. I'm struggling.
You're struggling?
Yeah,
struggling. You need to talk.
No, I'm just saying I'm struggling to where I'm going. I am struggling
to where you're going.
Yeah, sure. I got a couple of brand sponsorships, but I'm struggling to get them joints. I need $1 million worth of sponsorships.
You and I both. That's why I started responding to those emails. Yesterday, I was at the hair salon like, what's next? Let's get it. All right.
I just got another dope one. So this is awesome.
And to your point, like you were saying, there was a company that wanted you to fill out so much information. And I think that was one of the deterrents for me. I'm opening it up, and the ego part of me says, you sought me out. Why do I have to fill out all this information? And many times it's information that I have to do that I can't, translate to or delegate to anybody else. And so that one application that I did, or that one, it wasn't even an application. It was the information that they needed for something that I'm already confirmed to do. It took me 2 hours. I said, how many more of these do you
It's the little things. They drain your time.
But the riches are in the details. And Shanelle will help you highlight those details and put you on a path to creating your own successful brand. That said, you guys, you know where to find us every single week, right here on Social Proof. Where, Dave?
Right here on Social Proof.
Right here. But the thing is, are they subscribed?
Yeah, we gotta talk about how to get in touch with her.
We gotta talk about how to get in touch with
you
Shanelle.
Were getting there.
I was getting there.
Yeah, you were going there, then back. It was a strategy.
And I didn't forget that. This is what I do. Like I was saying, are you subscribed? Are you subscribed to the Social Proof podcast? And are you subscribed to Shanelle? I guarantee you're not, because she hasn't told you yet how to do it.
She didn't let you know yet. So talk to us. How can we get in touch with you?
So you can find me on the internet anywhere at The Brand Hustler. So it's thebrandhustler.com. On YouTube, it's The Brand Hustler. On Instagram, it's The Brand Hustler. On TikTok, it's The Brand Hustler. And that's TheBrandHustler.
How do we pay you?
How do we pay you?
Yeah, how do we pay you?
How do we pay you? How do we sign up for your program? How do we check your programs out?
Yeah, you can go to my website, The Brand Hustler, or you can go and tap the link in my bio on either TikTok or Instagram, and everything is on there. You'll see a very cute picture of me, but it's right underneath. And if you want to taste, I have freebies that are in there too.
Let's go.
If you're confused about what Shanelle does, she's the brand hustler. That's where you find her everywhere. No, really, seriously, she's outstanding. We've really been enjoying highlighting these entrepreneurs
100%.
that you guys have seen Dave and I talking to together because they're simply outstanding. And Shanelle proved that theory as well.
For sure.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
In the comments, tell us what stood out most about this conversation with Shanelle, and we hope to see you again. We will see you. It's no hope, but you'll know that. We know that we'll see you if you're subscribed because they get the notification and it tells them that we released a new episode. You don't have to wonder if we're here. You know it if you were subscribed. Goodbye.
Peace. Good job. You just watched this whole episode. If you like this episode, watch this one right here. Click right here. You're going to like this one if you like the one you just watched. Check it out.